stories we tell ourselves. So I'd like you to welcome Pat.
All right,
Pat. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, have you ever been accused and then punished for something you didn't do? It's a terrible feeling. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about 3 things: being a victim, a villain, and being helpless. Imagine this. I was 10 years old, an A student. I had the teacher of my dreams, Ross Minch. He was absolutely fabulous. He was just out of the Army. He was young. He was fascinating. All the kids in my class loved him. He was one of the few males in the school. And then we had this lady who was like in her 50s, and she was boring, and she complained about having to be in the classroom. So, Pat! I will not talk in class. I will not talk in class. I will not talk in class.
Where have you been?
Mom! Oh. I was supposed to meet my mother after school. She was taking me on this incredible shopping expedition. We only went twice a year. And what did I have to say for myself? I said, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do it. And then I threw things and cried. Was I the victim? At 10 years old, you don't really think about victims and villains and acting helpless. But as you get older, you sometimes use the same behaviors. So what I want us to think about is, what's a victim? What's a villain? And what about acting helpless? These are the stories that we sometimes tell ourselves, and they don't really work for us in a good way. If you're a victim, if somebody comes up to you on the street and goes, and your money or your life, unless you're Jack Benny and say, I'm thinking about it, you're a victim. But in most areas of our lives, we can have some control, and we don't need to be victims. So the next time you find yourself feeling like a victim, you may want to ask yourself, what role did I play in the situation where I felt that I was a victim? Now, clearly as a 10-year-old, you're going to feel like a victim. I forget whether I was talking or not, honestly. But at the time, I felt very put upon because I had been singled out. So I was playing the victim for sure. Now, the villain was certainly my teacher. I mean, there was a clear villain in that story. However, when you start making people villains in your adult life, you want to think, why would a decent and rational person be acting the way this person is? And you may not be interpreting their behavior correctly. You may just want to think about that a little bit more. As far as acting helpless goes, it really isn't usually a good response. So you want to figure out how to build in some competency. Now, in my case, I acted helpless as a 10-year-old because, hey, between the teacher and my mother, my goose was cooked. My parents had the philosophy of, hey, whatever your teacher accused you of, whether you did it or not, you probably did it at some other time. So you're just getting punished for the time that they didn't catch you before. I mean, my parents were like, toe the line, and they believed in teacherhood and the rest of it. So I was cooked. So as far as acting helpless, as a 10-year-old, you can probably get away with it. But as an adult, you want to be competent. You want to be able. in most cases, there are things that you can do so that you won't be helpless. So I want you to think the next time that you're a victim
Villain.
or acting helpless, I want you to think about a different role that you can play to be more effective in your adult life.
All right.